What's up, everybody? It is Finish Strong Friday. Trey Griggs here with Beta Consulting Group, and we are coming to you today with episode 109 of The Word on the Street. Going to be an exciting day. Got a lot of good stuff going on. So thank you for joining us today. First of all, let me give you a shout out to my sponsors out there. TAFs, these are the good guys in freight factoring. They're doing a great job of helping carriers have all the resources that they need to truly thrive in any environment, helping with education on how to best use capital and cash flow and discounts on fuel and tires and all that great stuff. So make sure you check them out at tafs.com, and make sure you tell them that I sent you. And also click in the link. There's going to be a link in the comments today that will take you right to a landing page that will let them know that you got there from me and you can get started with them today. If you're a freight broker out there, you can become a referral partner and make sure that your carriers have all the resources they need to truly thrive in any environment. So check them out at tafs.com. Also, I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, Greenscreens.ai. These guys are doing a great job in terms of dynamic pricing and changing the way that people are making decisions about pricing and indexing rates and those types of things. We're going to actually have our guest today, Dawn Salvucci-Favier, is the CEO of Greenscreens. So I'm super excited to have her and love having their support for the show and for what we're doing here. So thank you for them. Check them out at Greenscreens.ai and tell them that Trey sent you. All right, we'll just finish strong Friday. So make sure that whatever you're doing today, you finish strong, you get after it. And if you would, do me a quick favor, go check us out at betaconsultinggroup.com. We're helping companies build their brand with their messaging, their marketing, their content creation, all of that good stuff. So we're very excited to be working with you. So check it out, see what we have to offer. Leave us a comment, fill out a form, whatever you want to do. And we'd love to work with you and get started with you on that. All right, we're going to have a great show today. I've got to tell you, I'm feeling a little intimidated. My walk-up music today should be It's Ladies Night because we have ladies in the house today. So first of all, bringing this woman up, she's the new executive director for the TMSA. Going to have a great show next week down in Orlando. Everybody give it up for my good friend Jennifer Carpus Romaine.
Hello.
I love your walk-up music. That's so
it just
good.
makes you feel good.
It does. It does.
Makes you ready for the day.
And I'm not going to call Macklemore ghetto this week. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. It's just not going to happen. So how are you, my friend? Are you excited for next week or what?
I am very excited for next week. It feels like I still have a million things to check off my to-do list, but I think we're at a really good pace and I'm just really excited. I had like a moment to reflect the past couple of days to really think about this labor of love and taking over TMSA and how excited I am that I finally get to launch it out into the world and for everybody to see what we've been working on. And I'm really excited.
So for everybody out there who we didn't say, the next week is the TMSA's annual conference called Level Up Conference. It's in Orlando, Florida at the beautiful Gaylord Palms. I'm going to get the opportunity to share the stage with you. I'm very excited about that. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to MC the event. We've got some tremendous speakers. You're the new executive director, and it's not too late. So if you're thinking about coming, if you're on the fence, go to events.tmsatoday.org and sign up and come and join us in Orlando next week. It's going to be awesome. The speaker lineup. You've done a phenomenal job. There's so many quality speakers there. Randy Fox, Blythe Brumleve, Chris Jolly, Mark Manera, Holly Laboda. I mean, the list goes on. There's so many great ones. I'm super pumped. I know you're stressed. I'm just super excited. I mean, give me the mic. I can't wait to get on stage. I'm just really, really looking forward to that. So going to be great. All right. Next person coming in today. She's got the best music. Great walk-up music, everybody. Our friend, professor at Grand Canyon University, Dr. Rhonda Bopensa Zimmerman in the house. What's up?
Hey, everybody.
How are you today?
Doing wonderful, Trey. Thankful to be here with you and Jennifer and everyone else that shows up on Word on the Street. I have to say, Trey, you're looking, the lighting, I don't know what's going on. You're looking clean, crisp. It's just serving you well, whatever energy you're throwing out there.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I will confess that I am almost into the 160-pound range, which I need to be athletic. And so I'm very excited about that. I've got some golf goals coming up. I want to play some competitive golf. And so I need to be better. So I'm glad someone noticed. That always makes you feel good, right? When you do something, like, nice to at least be noticed. I mean, it might not work out, but it's nice to be noticed. Hey, we got Nick Roomer in the comments today. Nick, what's up, buddy? He's cooking. I hope you can make it soon, man. We miss you like crazy. Can't wait to get you over here on this side of the pond very, very soon. Got to get him over here. Nick Roomer's an amazing guy. He's somebody I still haven't met in person. just like like there's just so many people that we haven't had a chance to just like meet in person. So very excited about getting him over on this side of the pond. He says happy Friday to all. He wishes he was there, Jennifer. We'll get him there next year. He's a marketing guy. Love that guy to death. So I need to get him there for sure. And August, yes, Nick, coming in August. That's what I'm talking about. Cannot wait for that. Very excited to have him over with us very, very soon. Okay. It's all girls today so far, everybody. I just want you to notice that. I feel like I'm at home. It's kind of moving in that direction. So the next person hasn't been on in a while, but I'm super excited about this. She is just dynamic, and we miss her like crazy. Everybody, give it up for my good friend, Erin Smetic. What's up, Erin? How are you? Oh, she's frozen, but you look great. You're outside.
Hi, how are you?
You're having a great day.
Oh, Erin.
I hope we get you a better connection there. I hope we get you on the show soon. Erin, so good to see you. I hope it comes back. All right. Looks like we're not all guys today. I'm very excited about this. Somebody else has popped in. Super pumped about that. We got to go with this one. This is kind of his new song. He was doing Lithium from Nirvana. Not anymore, everybody. Give it up for Maps and Logistics, my good friend, Greg Roberts. What's up, buddy?
Not much, doing well. And by the way, Rhonda, not only is Trey looking lean, but he's a lot taller than his pictures imply. I know he gets a lot of crap for looking short. He's not like 5'6".
I'm not 5'6". That's true, but I'm definitely the shortest in every picture we've taken. Like, and it's not even close. I mean, the only person that I even remotely come close to is Robert Bain, who I got to see last night at the Cubs Cardinals game, which was great. But yeah, no, I mean, I do feel like a big man in a little man's body. I will say that from my basketball days. I do feel like that, but I certainly don't look like that, Greg. I appreciate it. It means a lot. Okay, everybody, our special guest today is not only an incredible CEO and leader, but also the company that is sponsoring our show and supporting us. So absolutely love this. They're doing some amazing things in terms of dynamic pricing in the industry. And I'm super excited to bring on, not Kevin this time, everybody, not Kevin. No, this time we have the actual CEO of Greenscreens joining us today. Everybody give it up for my good friend, Dawn Salvucci-Favier.
Hey, everybody. Oh, I'm frozen too.
Oh, here comes the line. Here comes right here. It's come here.
Me with science.
And kill me with technology. Yeah, there you go. Got the song. I had to get that part in there at the end.
Gotta get it
with
in.
Science. Kill me with technology. How are you, my friend?
I am doing great, Trey. How are you today?
It is so good to have you on the show. I got a chance to meet you for the first time at TIA in person, which is just so nice to get a chance to sit down and chat with you and hear a little bit about your story. Thank you so much for sponsoring Word on the Street. We're so excited to have Greenscreens as a partner. Love what you guys are doing in the industry. And Kevin, I do have to agree with you. I have to agree. I can't, she's much cooler than you. There's no doubt about it. Definitely much cooler.
I keep good company.
You got to do what you got to do. No, Kevin's great. So, Dawn, real quick, for people who might not know who you are, a little bit about your history, your story, give everybody, the 30-second, 60-second intro into who you are.
Sure. So great to meet everybody, Trey. Love working with you and the work that we're doing together. So as Trey said, I'm the CEO and Chief Product Officer at Greenscreens. Have a long background in freight tech. Spent many years working on the TMS side. For those of you that aren't familiar with Greenscreens, we're a fairly new company in the market. We've been in business since February 2020, but really just aggressively hit the market about a year ago in April of 2021. We are a predictive pricing platform today, really focused on truckload spot rates. So we use AI and machine learning to train a model about a specific company's buying behavior against the current market conditions that allows us to generate a truly predictive target buy rate. We're focused today on broker to truck or 3PL to truck rates, but then we're also giving customers a target sell price that's again based on data and data science and historically how they've been marking it up. So we're covering both the buy and the sell side, working with a lot of our partners in our ecosystem to, not only give users a lot of decision support tools right within their existing workflows, but also working with partners to automate the entire quote to cash cycle.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love that. And it's almost like, when you think of, I think I want to buy a red Corvette. You start seeing red Corvettes everywhere, right? So as soon as we partner with Green Screens, I swear I run into your customers everywhere now, which is awesome. And just continuing to spread the word. Last night I ran into a customer and they were just bragging on the service and how it's helping them out. So it's just really great to see the impact that you guys are making and to partner with you guys. And I'm very excited about where it's going in the future. And pricing right now, I'm super glad that Aaron and Greg jumped in. No offense, Jen and Rhonda. But I'm glad to have a couple freight brokers on here who can talk about pricing a little bit, and we can have a great conversation about that. Because right now pricing, we're starting to see it tick down. Diesel fuel continues to stay high. Shippers just had their RFQ season. Now they're kind of looking at pricing now from that perspective. Some shippers and manufacturers are securing their own capacity. They're acquiring brokerages just to make sure, or acquiring asset-based companies to make sure they have their own capacity. So pricing is a really big issue right now, and it's a difficult, it's a challenging thing. There's a lot of companies that have tried to solve it. There's positives and negatives both ways, but it's neat to see what Greenscreens is doing with new technology and with historical data in order to help make actionable decisions for their team, help their team actually make a decision and not be have that paralysis by analysis. So love what you guys are doing in regards to that. Greg, you had a chance to take a look at Greenscreens a little bit. Aaron, you're in the pricing market as well. You guys are doing brokerage. What's going on with pricing right now in the industry? What are we seeing out there? And what's some advice you guys have in that regard?
Well, it's always a bit of staring into a crystal ball, right? You never know exactly what it's going to be. You take all the data points that you can get and you kind of piece them together the best way that's possible. And then you kind of move forward from there. Diesel is elevated still for sure, but it's actually been dropping, week over week the past, 3 weeks.
Still over $5.50 a gallon though, right? Isn't that right?
Yeah. Oh, it's like I said, it's still elevated, but it's at least, it appears to be, moving the DOE for the diesel across the U.S., right, and not getting into the regional piece of it, but it has been dropping. I don't know what it is right now, but I know that it's been dropping the last couple of weeks, which is nice. But yeah, so the spot opportunities though are still there. The market's still pretty hot, and you're talking to shippers and they can't seem to find trucks, and then you go and you talk to the trucks and they can't seem to find shippers. So that's where we come into play.
Yeah, it seems like pricing just continues to be an ongoing challenge, ongoing issue, which is crazy. Aaron, how are you? Great to see you. We got to audio now. Can we hear you?
We're good.
Yes.
I tried
you are.
and it didn't work.
Well, it looked like it was a nice day, so I don't blame you. Instead of being indoors, which is much better. So, how's everything in PA? You doing well?
Everybody's doing well here. Yep.
Kids are all alive. You see, like you haven't taken any of them out yet. Everybody's good.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, guess who I saw last night at the Cubs game? I saw Diana Guzman at the Cubs game last night. It was so great. She came and we had a great chat, and she's great. So it was fun to have her on at the game last night. So Dawn, let me ask you a question. Your background, what led you to Green Screens, and what excites you about that, particularly in the industry?
Yeah, no, it was great. Hey, I was doing some consulting and looking for my next great opportunity, and I was introduced to Ben Gordon, who you may be
Great guy.
familiar with
Yeah.
from Cambridge Capital, who is the chairman of our board here and executive director. And I was really more talking to him about doing some consulting within his portfolio of companies. And he said, hey, I want you to take a look at this company, Greenscreens, that I just helped to co-found. Let me know what you think. And I was really kind of blown away and it was really early stage at that time. It was really kind of in beta. Am I freezing up here? Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Okay, cool. I was the product was in beta with a few customers. They were really just proving out the hypothesis, building out the user experience. And what really excited me the most about Greenscreens is it was, in my opinion, the first real practical application of true AI and machine learning in our industry, right? There were a lot of people that said, I do AI, I do machine learning, but A, I think, it's thrown around a lot. B, I don't think all of the applications were necessarily practical at the time. And so it was a very practical application of this new, cool, up and coming technology. for an age-old problem that's very much been paper-based and things like that. So filling a need in the market that just had not been met by any other solution. So that's what really excited me about the company. And rather than just doing some consulting, Ben said, "Well, hey, loved your opinion. Do you want to come be the CEO?" And I said, "No, but here I am." No, I'm just kidding. So yeah.
That's kind of how it works sometimes,
Yeah.
that's kind of the way it works. But what's also really great about it, because I work partnering with you guys, I've had a chance to dig in a little bit deeper, which is awesome. And seeing the power of green screens in partnership with some of the other technology players that are out there, some of the automated tools that are out there, some of the TMSs that are out there, it's really providing actionable insight in a powerful way that hasn't been created before. And that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we're pretty proud of the work that we've been doing, and as you mentioned, our partner ecosystem is growing every week, and I am a true believer that technology is no longer about single monolithic applications that check all the boxes and are all things to all people. It really, I think the future of technology in our industry is really more connected, specialized applications, right? Task focused, best of breed, specialized applications. And we've been really successful in bringing together a wonderful ecosystem of partners to
Yeah.
support that.
Well, it's a tough question, right? Because when you look at a TMS, it's nice to have a TMS that can do everything, but does it do it well? So you want to have a common set of tools as much as possible, but it's difficult for one company to get everything not only right, but to be the best at it. And so, it's that how do we have a common tool set as much as possible while still having kind of specialists? It's almost like a company. Like when you start a company, you start with generalists who can do everything, but at some point you need to bring in specialists that can do things that other people can't if you really want to be excellent. I think that's true for this. It's true for like a trade organization like TMSA. It's true for a college like Rhonda, you're at. True for brokerage. Like at some point you have to get the people who are the experts involved. And that's what I think we're seeing with technologies. We're seeing some of these players become the experts. And then, okay, how do we connect them? How do we get them together? And that's where partnerships are so important. Collaboration has never been more critical than right now. And so I love the fact that you guys are agnostic and you're wanting to partner with everybody and make it possible to get the data into the right hands in a way that's very actionable. So absolutely love that. And Nick, you're right. Focus on the niches. Yeah, build out from that, which is cool, which is what Greenscreens is doing. So great to see that you guys are doing that, which is awesome. Okay, so quick question, Greg. I'd like to jump to you on this. When you think about technology, when you think about like your TMS, and you think about some of these one-off solutions, what's been like the most effective way to integrate those into either your platform or just kind of the philosophy in general of how you bring in the best tools with what you have to be most efficient?
Well, there's a couple of ways that we do it. One, we do build our own stuff sometimes. We have a proprietary TMS. Matson being an IMC as well as having an over the road brokerage group as well as LTL. Right, there's a lot of facets that we needed a TMS that fit well together across different modes, and that's what we built. Right. It works, pretty well actually. But when it comes to adding in different pieces to that, one of the things that we can do is then, because it is proprietary, we can figure out a way to pull data from certain areas. We've got APIs going with some companies right now that will pull data into our TMS, or we've got other ones where we'll go and we get essentially data dumps every single week. And what it'll do is we take that data dump and we just kind of put it into our data set. And then when we're running, for example, pricing, we've got, an internal tool that we utilize. When we're running our pricing, we're not just looking at one data point to say, this is what the market's at right now. It's more along the lines of, okay, here's a data point that says it's here. Here's a data point that says it's here. And then we find the point in the middle that says, okay, this is what we really think we're going to pay for this one. And this is what, we think the customers are looking to pay and able to pay on that same lane. So It really, sorry, long-winded way of saying it really depends, but a lot of it is kind of dependent on what we're trying to get out of that piece of information. If it is an API feed or something like that, that's usually how we get info from those external sources.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's critical to get, the data is really what's critical more than the user experience. I think
Yeah.
in my opinion, getting the data where you need it, when you need it is the most critical aspect to the whole equation. And so it's, I love the fact that we're becoming much more API centric as an industry. It's taken us a while to get here. I love what like Metaphor is doing with their socket application to try to connect everybody as much as possible. And just that we're thinking along those lines of like, how can we connect these pieces into, into a way that the data flows where it needs to go. So absolutely love that. Dawn, what's next for Green Screens? And then we're going to talk a little bit about donuts. So what's next for Green Screens?
Green screens and donuts, huh? That's
It
a
could be a winning
combination.
campaign. It could,
It could be. It
could
could be.
be.
So, look, I mean, right now we remain focused on the truckload spot market. We are experiencing tremendous growth within the brokerage space, and I think there's still a lot of work that we can do to further improve our product. So, I think, for the remainder of this year, we're going to remain pretty focused on truckload spot rates. But looking forward, I think the next modes that we're likely going to attack are going to be drayage and intermodal, because we feel and we hear from our customers in the market that there aren't really great sources of market rate information or dynamic pricing type information for those modes. Also getting into more longer term forecasting. So again, we are focused on the spot market today. Our sweet spot is 7 to 10 days, though we do have batch rating tools that our customers are able to leverage for some of those more longer term RFP responses. But really starting to look at some longer term forecasting and trending analysis, and delivering that to our customers. And of course, continuing to build out that partner ecosystem. Again, really providing automation and optionality around automation from customer quote to cash, really for the market.
Yeah, and what I'm excited about is getting to tell some of those stories. From a marketing perspective, looking forward to talking to some of your clients about that, because it's great to have a great product, but the marketing side of it, has to be there to get the word out, to tell the story, and and you got some great stories to tell, which we're excited to tell.
We do. And it's, every week we're getting new customer stories, and I love hearing the success that our customers are having. I mean, I'll share one of our customers, they're a $25 million brokerage. They weren't even live on our software yet, but I mentioned our batch rating tool to respond to an RFP for a major shipper. They used the output of our product. They changed very little about it, and they were awarded a $6 million contract for the first time new business, right, from this major shipper, which was a huge milestone for them. And that's just one of many, right? We hear similar stories to that every week from our customers. And yeah, I love being able to share the customer success.
Yeah, I know who that is. I can't wait to tell that story. That's going to be a great story. And telling great stories is really kind of what it's all about when you have a great product. And Jen, you're part of that. So we're going to talk about that at the TMSA. We're trying to tell a great story as well. What's the value of being able to tell a really great story, whether it's an organization or a product? How do you think about that?
Are you talking to me or
I'm
still to
talking
Dawn?
to you.
Okay.
No, to you,
That's what I
absolutely.
thought. And then I was like, I don't want to cut somebody off. So it's really funny that you talk about that, because telling stories, and that has really shaped my entire career. Like I started as a journalist, and I still do that on the side because I love it. I love being able to dive into what's trending in a specific market and helping that audience learn about it. But then I started to fall in love with like talking to business owners and helping them. And then I wanted to help them shape their own stories, but you can't do that as a journalist, or ethically you should help do that in the same way. So then that's when I switched to marketing, because when I was a reporter, I worked in like the tire industry. So kind of a sister industry to transportation, if you will. But I found the same thing here. There's a lot of really cool things going on, and people don't always know the uniqueness or the different things that you have in your company culture. You just think it's always there, something that's everybody always does, but it's not true. So like, that's what I love. And I always tell them, like, you just talk about your business, how you talk about it, and I will work to make it sound pretty. Like, that's your job as the marketing person. And even then, when I became a marketing and worked with my own teams, like, that's still the advice I give. Like, I want your thought leadership and your knowledge. And then as the marketing person, that's my job to like make all of that fit together in a way that you can write it out and read it or talk about it in a video or whatever that looks like. And then now in my 4th or 5th iteration of a job here at TMSA, I think that's even more important because we are a group of marketing and salespeople that are coming together in this industry. And what I really found here is that especially for marketing teams, there's a lot of transportation companies that have like one marketing person, maybe 2.
If that.
If that. And then like the sales teams are still pretty small. So where are these people coming together to network, to brainstorm, to have dialogue, to have conversation? And that's really what TMSA is all about. And I always laugh because I loved when I was just a marketing person talking to other marketing directors and getting their feel for what they're doing. But I actually really loved TMSA because I got to talk to salespeople and learn more about how to create better sales enablement content, to really understand what my sales team needed from me, because those conversations, when like you're talking within your own company, can be more stressful in a way. Like there's more on the line in those conversations. You care more about sounding stupid. And so there is like a transparency and an honesty that you're able to do with those contacts I made at TMSA. And obviously I fell in love with the organization so much that then when they needed new leadership, I just took it on in holistically as the association. But when I really sit and think about the value of those connections, it's not just talking to people in your same role, even though that is incredibly valuable, because if you're a marketing director, chances are there's not another marketing director at your company, but it's also those other positions that are still in this sales and marketing, transportation and logistics that can all speak your language.
Yeah, and that's a whole other conversation for a whole other day, how sales and marketing work together, because that's so critical. But telling a great story is really where it's at. And speaking of somebody who can tell a really great story, everybody give it up for the one and the only
Take my money, take my
Diana Guzman. Everybody made the show.
Hello,
Diana
hello.
Guzman, what's up? How are you doing today?
I'm good, actually. I did this just for you, Trey. I snuck out of my office
That's
to
what
sit
I'm
in my
talking
car.
That's what I'm talking about. And of
Come
course, it had to be another female. Greg, how are you feeling about this? I mean, we are definitely outnumbered today. I mean, it's heavy. It's been pretty stacked.
I'm
Oh, there you go. You're muted.
Yeah.
loving the females.
Diana, how was your night last night? Did you have a good time?
Yes, it was so fun. Thank you again for inviting me. And I did. I had a really good time, and I met some pretty great people, and it was nice to actually meet some people in person from the street crew. So
Yeah.
it was awesome.
Cubs game at Wrigley. Not too many things better than that. And we did have a little street crew sighting last night. So I forgot to put that on This Week in Pictures. Can you believe that? I may have to redo that while we're talking. I don't know. We'll try to figure it out. But everybody, listen. Hey, it's Donut Day, National Donut Day out there. Big day today for a lot of people, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I love donuts. I'm a chocolate donut fan. We had a poll out there. We had some decent response on the poll today. So we're going to talk about donuts a little bit and see what everybody thinks about donuts. Here we go. All right. First question in the poll today is, which national donut shop is the best? I just want to get this one out of the way right at the beginning. Looks like most people are going Krispy Kreme. How's everybody on this call? Where do you guys sit? Dunkin' Donuts, Krispy Kreme, Duck Donuts, Lamar Donuts, Voodoo Donuts, or something else? Okay. How many people Dunkin' Donuts? Dunkin' Donuts. Any Dunkin' Donuts? No. Okay. Krispy Kreme. Okay. Yeah. You just want to go into that glaze and start licking your fingers. The glaze is good.
Well, also,
Right.
I didn't know half of the other, like the Voodoo Donuts and Duck Donuts. I don't know if that's a national chain or if that's more St. Louis.
They are becoming national. No, they're becoming national.
Okay, becoming national.
They're becoming national. Duck Donuts is actually pretty legit. I'm a big fan of Duck Donuts. Lamar's Donuts is a little more Midwestern. I get that. Voodoo Donuts started in Portland, Oregon. They have one now in Orlando and I think Denver and maybe 4 or 5 other locations. The Voodoo Donuts are the best. They got the pink box. So if you go to Voodoo Donuts, you get a pink box. If you're in Portland, you got to go there. They've got the worst naming donuts. Diana, you might like some of these. They've got a donut called the Cock and Balls. They've got My wife's favorite donut. This is hilarious because my wife is just like, she's so innocent. My wife. So my wife's favorite donut at Voodoo Donuts is called the Dirty Old Bastard. But she cannot call it that. She cannot order that. So when we go in there, she goes, "I want the Oreo cookie with peanut butter on it, please." And they're like, "Oh, you're the Dirty Old Bastard." She's like, "Yes." So they have some of the worst things, but they have a bacon maple bar. Oh, that's to die for. 6 people put other. So who else? Like, what are your favorite spots? Rhonda, do you have a favorite? Do you eat?
Yes.
Donuts?
So here in Arizona, Boso Donuts.
Boso? Okay.
Yeah, they're very popular here. It's native to Arizona.
Okay.
Yeah, they have very eclectic mix of donuts, and they bring a lot of culture into the mix. So there's a lot of diversity and tap into.
Donut shops are a dime a dozen, right? They got to stand out somehow. So having those eclectic donuts is important. Jennifer, how about you? You got a favorite donut spot?
I do. So I texted you about this before we got on this because I worked at a donut shop for 12 years of my life.
I don't know how you do that.
Royal Donut in Parma, Ohio. There's only one.
Royal Donut.
Only place I will eat. Yes, it's my favorite. And it's the only place I'll eat donut from because I feel like I'm cheating on it if I eat any other kind of donuts.
There's a level of loyalty that's just.
There's a great level of loyalty. So one, it's around the corner from where I grew up. So like it is the donut of my childhood. And then when my sister started working there when I was like 10, and then when I was 15, I worked there. And I worked there through high school, through college. I still worked there through like 2 to 3 of my adult grown-up jobs on the side. Like I worked there forever. And I
like a romantic story here. This is like a love story here.
Yes,
nice.
Me in the donut shop. But I was laughing because when I got the survey, I texted Trey and I was like, I worked at a donut shop for 12 years. And I had such regular customers that so I actually once I graduated high school, I worked overnight. So I was like decorating the donuts, if you will. So
you were the time to make the donuts guy.
Yeah,
you were that guy.
But it was great because like you would just turn the music on. Like we were closed, I would turn the music on really loud, and I would just like it was the best brain therapy you could have because I could literally make donuts in my sleep. I did them for 10 years. So. But then we opened up at 4 a.m. and from 4 to 6 a.m. I had my regular customers that I had saw every time I worked for 10 years. So when I got engaged, they made my husband wake up at 5 a.m. and come and meet them. Like they interviewed him to make sure that he was okay to marry me. And my lovely husband really did wake up and he sat there and they were interesting questions that I will not share on your show, but some were appropriate and some were not. And I was like, whoa. But I was laughing, but it was like funny because I worked there in high school. And so some of those guys would come in the afternoon too. Like I remember my dad used to pack my dinner plate and if I worked 6 to 10. So like those sets of guys would want to see what my dad made for dinner. And they're like, we just want to come to your house and eat your dad's food. I'm like, that's really weird. Like go home. But so I was laughing. So I really liked that today was donut day and I was able to be a part of the street crew because it's such a part of my formative years.
So what's the name again and where's it located for everybody?
It's Royal Donut in Parma, Ohio.
Parma, Ohio. So if you're ever driving through Parma, Ohio, everybody stop at Royal Donut. Ask for some stories about Jennifer. Sounds like they got some.
Yeah, and depending on who's there, they will still know who I am.
What's that love ingredient? It sounds like Jennifer. You know?
It's a family-owned business. It's local. It's like a Parma staple. So
that is so funny. That's awesome. And so local for us is Hertz Donuts in Springfield, Missouri. So if you're in Springfield, Missouri, go to Hertz Donuts. They've got the eclectic donuts, the voodoo kind of feel as well. So that's a good spot. Diana, how about you? You got a donut spot there in Chicago?
Munster Donuts. Yeah.
Munster. Okay.
Munster
Greg, you been there?
Yeah.
I have
not.
not.
In Chicago. No. It's in Munster, Indiana.
Oh, it's in Munster, Indiana. Okay. So it's close, but not quite. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah. Nice. Good to know. I'm a Dunkin' Donuts guy. I know that's kind of weird to say. I like because it's close to my house, but if I could have anything, I would go to Voodoo Donuts. That's in Portland. It's like it's home. I'm kind of feeling that loyalty, Jennifer, that you're talking about as well. Okay. All right. Question 2. What's the best beverage to go with a donut. Coffee. 9 people put coffee. I don't drink coffee, so I couldn't put that. No one cares about water. No one cares about juice with donuts. It's kind of a weird combination, the citrusy and it's kind of, yeah. And then chocolate milk 3. That's mine. I'm a chocolate milk guy with a donut. And then one other person put other. Was that anybody on the crew here? Anybody else put other? Nobody chose alcohol. I was just curious. Some people, that's their drink. So Rhonda, you got to feel good about that. Nobody chose alcohol.
Well, that would be beignets. Beignets in New Orleans. It's got to be alcohol. But
okay. I've never been to New Orleans, so that's good to know. Yeah, but nobody chose alcohol. Everybody chose coffee. It's funny. I love the smell of coffee. I love coffee cake. Cannot stand coffee. Don't even touch the stuff. Never. Yeah, can't pull it off. Not gonna happen. All right. Question 3. Have you ever had a donut with bacon on it? 11. Yeah, look at this. 11 people say yes, 2 no. I was working at DAT in Portland, and one day it was like maybe it was like Employee Appreciation Week or something like that, and they brought around Voodoo Donuts from Portland. They brought around all of them, and I had never had a donut with bacon on it, and I passed it up. I'm like, bacon? I'm like, ugh. And then somebody was like, no, you have to try that. Like, you have to try. So I tried it. I'll never be the same. I'll never be the same again. Like,
it's sweet and salty. What's wrong with that?
Yeah. How can you go wrong
I
with
have
sweet
to
and
try
salty?
now.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
It's all your fault later on when I leave.
I would even say this. If I were you, I would go get a donut, get a maple bar or chocolate Long John, cook yourself a piece of bacon, smack that baby on it, let it cool, and then eat that thing. I'm telling you.
No, you could candy the bacon.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, you candy the bacon. So my brother, I always end up having parties around his birthday. And so he's more of like a savory person. So I have started making.
You say that with such disdain.
Yeah.
He's a savory person.
Well, it started because I literally had a housewarming party on his birthday. And so I was like, oh, I'll make you a cake. But so I started with the maple bacon, but then it's now evolved. So when he turned 40, I made this like ginormous like cake, and it had all bacon around it. So it's all candied bacon. And then if you want to, this is not healthy. I'm glad Dr. Mark isn't here this week. You pour the bacon grease like just a little bit into the frosting.
Wow.
And it is not good for you. No, but it's delicious.
That sounds unbelievable. Yeah. Nick, bacon and maple syrup. Oh man, it's like, it's so good. Yeah. So definitely.
That's how you can candy it. You can put it, and then you put it on a low temp.
I've never had that. I'm gonna have to try that next time. But yeah, Ronnie,
you got a baking sheet, and then you just sprinkle some brown sugar on it.
Oh
wow!
So
I mean, just a little more sugar because the donut doesn't have enough.
Right.
Whatever. That's how that goes. All right, next question. This is a little quiz question for you guys today. How many donuts are made every year in the United States? How many donuts are made every year in the United States? What do you guys think? How many of you go with 624 million? Nobody on this poll. Yeah, clearly none of you. 2 billion. Anybody here? 2 billion? 10 billion? You guys gonna go with the common answer? 36 billion.
I think that was me. I don't know.
I think that was me too.
So yeah. So the answer is 10 billion. 10 billion donuts. Now that's the United States. Now if you divide that by the population of the United States, and you got to think that there's a huge portion of those kids and maybe some senior citizens, maybe older that aren't eating that. It's a significant number of donuts per person per year, but not as many as I would have thought, I don't think. What is that, Matt? Greg, do that math. Do 10 billion divided by 300 million. We'll do 300 million. Just
Another interesting fact, Trey, is like 20 years ago, the average person would consume about 4 pounds of sugar in a year.
Yeah.
It's 147.
Yeah.
Now.
Way different. So you said 33 donuts in a year? See, I feel like I eat more than that. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, that's like one every other week, roughly. I mean, I guess I need to cut back on my donut intake. I don't know. Been enjoying the donuts. All right, here's a fun question. What is the largest donut that has ever made the Guinness World Record? What did it weigh? 256 pounds, 823, 1,000, or 3,400. We got a little disbursement here. What do you guys think? How many of you are 256 pounds? Raise your hand. Anybody? No. 823 pounds? Anyone? 1,000. Okay, Dawn, you're at 823. Okay.
Yeah.
1,050 pounds. Okay, Greg. And 3,400 pounds.
I went that way.
And Jennifer, what are you doing?
I have no idea what I selected, and I did it like right before the call. So
it's okay.
The correct answer, everybody, is 1.7 tons or 3,400 pounds.
Wow.
And it was jelly filled. believe it or not.
Oh, that
boy.
Well, that
explains
makes
it.
sense because jelly's heavy.
Yeah.
That changes everything. That changes
Right.
everything, but pretty interesting. Okay, next question. Which country has more donut shops per capita? Everybody got this right? Pretty much the majority got it right. It's Canada. Canada has more donut shops
Really?
per capita. And
Tim's.
it's
Is it because Tim Hortons?
Tim
Yeah,
Horton.
it's
I
gotta be
Tim
Tim's,
Horton.
yeah.
Yeah, gotta
They're
be.
on every corner.
Yeah, got to be Tim Horton for sure. But Canada more per capita than anywhere in the world. So I was kind of surprised about that because you go to New York, you see Dunkin' Donuts literally everywhere. I mean, every corner they got one. Starbucks has some donuts, kind of, but I don't know if that counts as a donut shop or not. All right, question 7. What's the Guinness World Record for most donuts eaten in 6 minutes?
I like this question better than the hot dog one.
yeah. Not quite as many. Not quite as many. So 29, 34, 47, or 62. The correct answer. I was shocked by this. Only 29 donuts. Only
Really?
29 donuts. Yeah. I don't know how big they are. Because like hot dogs, hot dogs kind of has a size, right? Donuts, they could be normal size, a little bit bigger. They could be long johns. I don't know what donut they used. I wish I did, but 29 is the
Don't
Guinness
seem
World
like they would go
also,
down
like-
No,
faster.
I feel like I could do that.
But it's
Yeah, I know.
there's
That's not
cake
nearly
donuts.
as bad as I
Yeah,
thought.
Greg.
That's kind of what I thought. Like,
But-
I should try this. Maybe I should try this
Yeah.
this weekend.
But like it depends on the donut, I would say. Like a glazed donut is like airy inside. So that might be
Yeah.
easy. Or like a French cruller is like half air.
Or a cake donut, a little thicker.
But
Like
cake donut
Yeah.
is thicker. And then if you had a filling,
So which donut do we think they're using here? Like a glaze, like an
We
old
need to
fashioned?
find out.
I know.
Yeah, just
I feel like we need
There's
to
a big
know
difference between an old fashioned and a glaze, and that's a
for
big.
sure.
I don't know that I could eat 29 old fashions in 6 minutes,
Right.
but might be able to put down 29 glaze. Greg, we should try this. I think we should see if we can. I mean, if that's the actual world record right now,
I'm actually digging this. Yeah.
I'd love to get my
I'm
name
down
in the
for that.
book. I mean,
we're
this
gonna set.
is possible. It's possible,
Well,
right? I mean,
if we're both gonna do it, you'd have to beat me to get into the book, and that's
right. Well, yeah, but at least one of us would have it, and we could verify the other. I mean, I feel like this is like a weekend event we need to do. Maybe the next Tough Mudder we do, this will be like the precursor, or maybe after. I don't know.
After.
I think that
Definitely
should
not
be
before.
after.
You get it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe
Definitely
get a little
not
extra sugar for the
before.
race. Get a little extra energy for the race. Okay. All right. Question 8. When was the first National Donut Day observed? The correct answer is 1938. 1938. So it's coming up on 100 years old. 16 years we'll have a 100-year anniversary of National Donut Day, everybody. And which organization's responsible? So the Food and Drug Administration, nobody chose that. Salvation Army, American Bakers Association, which is a real thing. Massachusetts Food Association, which is also a real thing. The correct answer, everybody, the Salvation Army.
Really?
Yeah, they did it as a marketing ploy to raise awareness for some of the things that they needed, whether it was blood or other, just like being a part of the Salvation Army and what they're doing. Not blood, sorry. Food donations, things like that. So they did it as a marketing ploy to bring attention to organization. So Salvation Army is responsible for Donut Day, which is interesting because now that we have Donut Day, you never hear about the Salvation Army at all. Like they've kind of cut ties with this apparently. Like they started it and they're like, nah, we're not doing that anymore. I don't know. It's not a part of it today. Okay, last question. Will you go get a free donut today? 4, of course, 5 if you remember, of course, and then 4 of you, absolutely no chance. I'm in the if I remember category. Like I'll do it, but I'm probably not going to go out of my way. But I'm probably going to try. I mean, it's a free donut, so wouldn't mind that whatsoever. So Street Crew Food Challenge. Nick, I like this. Get over here and you can be a part of it, my man. Let's go. Get to the other side of the pond. And then you can be a part of it, which would be great. Okay, we got 17 minutes left. I want to talk about this because we've been pushing this off for weeks. So Dawn, you're the lucky one that gets to talk about this. We've been pushing off the midterm elections that are coming up, and we are now in political season, campaign season. Ads are starting to run, messages are starting to get out there. You're starting to hear, some talking points that are getting out there. So it's going to be interesting, especially with gas being high, with inflation being very high, with some of the things that have happened recently, with the mass shootings that have gone on, with the student loan forgiveness that went on, some things that are kind of happening. I think are going to shake things up. We had a poll about that as well. Let's go ahead and check that poll out. And let's have a quick chat before we get into This Week in Pictures, and then we're going to call it a day. So question number 1, rate your level of excitement for election season. I love this. 5 people actually put they'd rather be hibernating. I love that. It's just, it's just like it just keeps happening. I mean, it's like you don't catch a break. We have an election season and people talk about that, and then it seems like right away we're doing it again. And I don't know. I'm not a fan. This is the one part of the founders that I'm not a huge fan of, that they have elections every 2 years. I think that it should be every 4 years or 6 maybe, but 2, it never stops. I feel like it never stops. What do you guys think about that? And by the way, don't be afraid to be political on the show. We accept all opinions. So
okay, I'm like, oh, you lucky me. I get the political topic, right? Yeah. No, I agree. It never ends, but I think it's the 24-hour media news, cable news cycle too is part of that, because it's just nonstop. It's funny, every now and then my husband and I will put on, CBS 6 p.m. news. It's, world news in 30 minutes, and like the way it used to be. And you're like, okay, so now I know everything that I needed to know about what's happening in the world in 30 minutes. I don't need a 24-hour news cycle, right, to tell me that. But nah, I think this midterm election cycle is going to be particularly bad. I think, honestly, both sides have gone off their respective deep ends. Honestly, I think both parties have lost their identity, and there's no such thing as moderate centrist anymore. And
not in the politicians. I think in the people there are, but not the politicians.
It's true, but I live in a state that has closed primaries. So up until the 2018 midterms, I had always been registered as an independent, and therefore, depending on where I was living at the time, couldn't participate in the primaries as an independent. But in the 2018 midterms, I changed my voter registration because I was so opposed to one of the parties that, I was like, no, I want to vote. And I think you're right, but I think we have to get rid of the closed primary system, because, like, I'm hearing we're never going to see a moderate candidate make the ballot as long as we have a closed primary system, right?
No. They're always pushing to the far extreme either way to win, Yeah, no, that's exactly right. That, and I think ranked choice voting makes a lot of sense to me. So instead of just voting for one person, you actually rank the candidates, and then that, so this person might be my second choice, which we'll give them a little bit of credit for that, of the work, even though I have a choice better than that, and that might change kind of the balance of how things go. I think there's a lot of changes that need to happen with that.
Like the Heisman.
Like the Heisman, exactly. How many first place votes you get, how many second place votes, how many third, and then you tally them up. I mean, we do that in a lot of other things, and nobody seems to be upset about that. So, but yeah, it's difficult when you have that kind of situation where you have to pick a side, and you can't just be truly independent when they close like that. That's a huge challenge. But
and especially when you feel like you're choosing the lesser of two evils, right? Because they're so polarized on either side. So,
and that's what I feel like. That's what the last, let's just say, I'm going to say the last 15 to 20 years, maybe 10 to 15 years, people have been voting. Well, let's say 10. We'll say 10 years.
The lesser evil, yeah.
You're picking the person that you that you don't hate the least, or they hate the least. Like. I mean, it's not enjoyable. It's not enjoyable at all. The process is not fun at all. So, yeah. So we're in political season. Here we go. Question 2. Let's see what people are predicting. All right. Which party will control the House of Representatives in 2023? Overwhelmingly, we think it's going to be Republicans. And this is not necessarily because the Republicans are better. It's because it's the midterm elections after a presidential year. This happens almost every time. I mean, when was the last time that the party in the White House kept power in Congress 2 years after taking the White House? I'm not sure when that was. I think it was like maybe the 80s, maybe. I don't know. Somebody look that up. If you're out there, look that up. But it's pretty normal it happens. But I think you take into consideration fuel prices, inflation. And I always believe that people vote with their pocketbook. At the end of the day, they vote with their pocketbook. If they're not happy with how things are run from a cost standpoint, they're like, hey, let's get a change. Even if they don't even know what the change is, I think they just want to change. Like, they're just tired of the cost. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. All right, question 3, talking about the Senate. Who's going to control it? Kind of same thing. Republicans. That one's interesting because I don't know who all's up. It's not like House of Representatives where everybody's up. I don't know who all's up for election. I need to do some more research on that. But depending on how many seats are up for play, it may not necessarily swing that way. So the Senate's kind of unique in that regard, but we'll have to kind of see how that plays out. Okay, question 4. How much money will be spent on political? This makes me sick. Rhonda, this will make you sick too. This makes me sick. How much money will be spent on political ads this cycle? What do you guys think? 695 million? Of course not. That's way too low. 1.8 billion, 7.8 billion, 13.2 billion. The correct answer, everybody? $7.8 billion on political ads. Isn't that crazy? Like, what does it cost to buy an election these days? I mean,
just imagine what we could do with that money. to help our veterans or the homeless population or the mental health struggles people are having.
I have this crazy idea, especially for national campaigns, that, anybody who gets on the ballot, like you have to do your work to get on the ballot. Anybody who gets on the ballot gets a certain amount of money based on the fact that they made the ballot. So let's just talk presidential, for example. So if you get on the presidential ballot, if you do all the work and get the signatures and you get on it, then the government gives you this fund. This is like, it's almost like a sports league where you have a
salary cap,
kind of a thing situation, right? But then I think you also give every citizen, every voting, like registered voter, you give them like $5 virtual bucks that they can contribute. And when they choose who they want to give that money to, and they can split it up if they want, it goes to that campaign, and that's all they get. That's it, right? And there's just no more money in politics. But I mean, I know it costs money because you have to have advertisement. You have to get your message out there. I get it. But man, I wish it was more of a salary cap situation. I think you get more competition. It'd be more like the NFL versus the MLB, where you're getting, you don't know who's going to win the Super Bowl. It could be any of 16 teams versus the MLB, where it's like there's like 4 teams that probably are going to win because they can spend more money. So I don't know. I just wish they would change some of those things up. What do you think they ever will? Think we're ever going to get a change in our system?
No, but I think even if that happened, Trey, people would still find a way to wiggle their way into unethical practices to select whoever it is that they want.
Right, because they're writing the rules and they're officiating. So, what are you going to do? But $7.8 billion, that is a lot of money. I just like 0.5% of that. I mean, I'll write some messages. I'll do something. Just 0.5%. I'd say 0.25%. I don't know any of it, right? It's crazy. All right, question 5: what percentage of Americans typically vote in midterm elections? This is a depressing question a little bit. So, most people think it's 1 out of every 3 Americans. The correct answer is somewhere between 45 and 54, and 54 would be the correct answer based on 2018.
Really?
Yeah. So 2018, 54% of Americans. And I don't know if this is like voting, like, people are registered, or if this is just all. So, could be some sway on that. It didn't specify, but the stat was 54% in 2018, which was an increase. So it's somewhere between that 45 and 54% mark, which is sad. I wish that, I don't know that you ever want to like mandate voting, but it's sad that more people don't participate in the process. But it's, it's kind of discouraging a little bit. So I get it. But anyways, we got political season coming up. We'll see how all that turns out. Coming up in like 5 months, we'll have to vote again, and then we'll be on to the presidential in 2024, and more of Trump and all that kind of fun stuff. Well, I'm sure we'll get all that. Justin thinks it's only registered voters. It's possible. Justin's a smart guy. He'll probably research it. Maybe know some song lyrics that go along with it. I don't know. Justin, we miss you, brother. Get back on the show. We miss you. All right. So we're going to end the show today with a little This Week in Pictures. I did say that I didn't put the picture of us last night on the show. I'm just going to pull it up because I can do that. Here's what we got. I'm just going to pull it up and show it to everybody, and then we're going to go into This Week in Pictures. So last night I had the chance to go to Wrigley Stadium and had the chance to meet with the street crew. I'm just going to put it on my camera, everybody, right there. You can see Rob Bussey in the house, Robert Bain, Diana Guzman. Always good to see the street crew around town. So that was a lot of fun. Missed some other people. Greg missed you, man. Wish you could have been there. Would have been great. We'll catch you next time. All right. So let's go ahead to This Week in Pictures. We got some cool stuff to show this week. So let me go ahead and share my screen. This is, by the way, Dawn, this is usually where the show goes off the rails because I can't figure it out right away. Everybody knows that. But, we pulled it off this time. So we got This Week in Pictures. All right. Couple of personal stories this week. So first off, Rhonda, talk to us. What's going on here?
Yeah. So I was pretty excited. We finished at number 3 in terms of mid-sized companies promoting workplace employee well-being.
Now,
and
who is that through? Like, is that an organization? Like, what was this award from?
So the Phoenix Business Journal is a collaboration of all the different businesses in the state of Arizona. So from as many as 2 to 10,000 employees. So
got it.
What they do is they have an outside partnership with someone that comes in and collects data about workplace wellness and what offerings companies and organizations offer to their employees, anything from, including health benefits, PTO, training, development, and then actual wellness programming. And then they collect all the data, and based upon, whatever the outcome is from the survey and how we answer, I think it was like 5 pages of questions. That's how they pick, the top company winners.
Yeah. Well, kudos to you on that. That's exciting. And how's the podcast going, by the way? Tell everybody the name of your podcast.
Oh, thank you. It's Work Life 360. So it's all about workplace wellness, really, and talking to companies and organizations and leaders that really are championing workplace wellness and not just, health benefits. So what's been really interesting is finding out that, depending on workplace culture, we see a shift where now our personal life and our professional lives have kind of intertwined. We bring our personal stuff to work, and our workplace stuff goes home. So it's really about having conversations about our thoughts, our feelings, and then how that's driving behavior based upon, different belief systems and just our life experiences, and having those conversations that are sometimes hard to have, but we need to have in this modern world. As you talked about, we have the ability to network and see differences of opinions. And unless we have those conversations in a psychologically safe space, we're just going to continue to see stress and burnout in this industry. So that's what the podcast talks about.
I love it. Can't wait to be on the show. And my niece is going to Grand Canyon University. So very excited to connect you two. That's going to be awesome. All right. We got another story here. Jennifer, what's going on here?
So this is my son, Monroe, and he is a pre-K graduate. And we're excited. So we had COVID the past couple weeks.
I love that smile right there.
Yeah, he's eating Cookie Monster ice cream, so he's very happy. But so we missed his real pre-K graduation, so we made it up, and we had our family come. My sister works in higher education, so she wore her full regalia. I should have put that picture up here. And when awesome. She did a fake ceremony for him and stuff.
That's so cool.
It was really fun. So big week in the Romaine household over here, both pre-K graduate, getting ready for the show. And then we obviously the TMSA show is the beginning half of next week, but we're staying in Orlando, and my husband and son are coming down.
Yes,
so
as you should. You're in Orlando, no doubt about it. Hey, Nick, we'll talk about this next week. The old Elon Musk email situation about going, force people back to work. So we'll chat about that next week. Be on the show, my friend, and we'll hear your opinion. That'll be great. All right. Next thing, who had a better Memorial Day weekend? Was it Dawn or was it me? All right, so let's just look at Dawn's weekend, everybody. So here's Dawn's weekend. Dawn, tell us what happened.
I moved. and not only did I move, but less than 24 hours before I was supposed to move, I heard the words that nobody wanted to hear. The flooring installers don't have near enough materials to finish the job. So you can see in that first picture that is a concrete slab for a kitchen floor.
Right there.
Yeah. So the movers are still here. Not the movers. The flooring guys are still here today finishing up because, my first reaction was, oh shit, supply chain issues. It's going to be months before they get my flooring in, but it was only a couple days. So that was good. But
yeah, well, that's good. That's good. So, well, sorry to hear about that. But congratulations on the move. Hope the house is beautiful. The kitchen looks like it's got tons of potential there. So I can't wait to see the finished product.
Well, that's what happens when you buy a fixer upper, but it's at the beach, right? We bought a fixer upper at the beach.
Nice.
So
So Green Screens board meetings, including me, need to be down at the
beach.
Property.
Sure. Yeah, we could do that.
That's right. Okay. So that's Dawn's weekend, everybody. All right. So that, and then my weekend. Okay. So I had the chance to take my daughter, Naomi, she's 12. We do this every year now. It's our thing. We go to the Indy 500 and she absolutely loves it. She got to drive a simulator. She was going 220 on the simulator going around the track, which was so awesome. I got a video on that. I couldn't put it on here, but just had a blast at the track. She got to meet Simona Di Silvestre, who is a driver. And she qualified last year for the 500, but not this year. So they had a booth where kids could come and take pictures, and they were getting girls involved. It was so cool to see that. And then just to look at a couple pictures here, like I got to take her to a suite because I had a friend who has a connection with Andretti Autosport. And then this picture right here, I got to take her down to the pits during the race. And she was just just lit up. And then this is her at the end of the day on the way home. She absolutely crashed. And then I don't know if you guys know these people at all. Had the chance to meet Mario Andretti. Jennifer, you know this guy. So listen to this story, everybody. I put a picture of me with Mario Andretti on LinkedIn thinking it's going to be really cool. And Jennifer's like, oh, yeah, I got my own picture. And she puts it on my post as well, just to say, yeah, I've actually sat down and talked to him and hung out with him. So always have to
I
one
just felt a kinship because he was really nice and I really wanted him to be my grandpa when I met
Yeah,
him.
he was super nice. And I got to meet
So
Michael
nice.
Andretti, his son over here on the right. So that was just, I mean,
Cool.
my dad's first race, and they were about over time. Here, we'll go quick. My dad's first race in 1969 is when Mario won his 500. So my dad was an Andretti fan. I knew two names growing up. I knew Griggs and I knew Andretti. That's it. So it was really cool to meet my dad's hero. I put a post about it. It was absolutely phenomenal. Let me go through a couple more pictures, but I think we'll just suffice to say I had a more enjoyable weekend than Dawn. Dawn, I hope this next weekend for you is much more enjoyable. Couple things in the news, then we're going to call it quits. Sheryl Sandberg stepped down from Meta, from Facebook as a COO, as a billionaire, multi-billionaire. So we'll see what she does with her little slush fund moving forward. I think she might get into politics or marketing or communications of some sort. So we'll see what happens with that. But man, what a career, huh? Like built Facebook pretty much from the ground up, their advertising platform and all that. So pretty cool for her. This is interesting. CNN's going to cut back from using the term breaking news. I'm so thankful.
Thank
If everything
God.
is breaking news, nothing is breaking news. I mean, so I think they have a leader now who's like, you know what, this isn't working. Let's do something different. So
No.
I'm pretty excited that we won't hear. And Fox does it. Like every time Fox News has a new show, they're like, Fox News alert. I'm like, okay, come on. You're just starting a show. Come on. Like, so stupid. So we'll see about that. Biden administration canceled student debt for 500,000 students from Corinthian colleges. Interesting thoughts about picking winners and losers. So we'll talk about that on future shows, but that happened this week. So as somebody who paid off my student loans, I just don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah, I still owe 120,000. I didn't get out of it.
You need to get a note in there. Let them know. Is it Corinthian colleges? I mean, you need to get a note in there to them about that. San Francisco is now having driverless taxis. They've been approved. This little company here called Cruise has been approved to have driverless taxis in San Francisco. That will be interesting to see how that works out with autonomous vehicles right next to regular vehicles on the road. And then finally, we're ending with good news. So, Dawn, last week I did these, and it was all bad news last week. I don't know what was wrong with my attitude last week, but it was all negative. So this week we're going to end on a bright note, and that is we have a brand new spelling bee champion, everybody. This is Harini Logan, who the final word that she spelled was moorhen, which does anybody know what the word moorhen means? Anyone?
Nope.
It's a female, I think, goose or female.
Oh, that makes sense.
Something along there. Yeah, it kind of makes sense when you see that. But I'm surprised that was the championship word, because usually it's like, 10 letters and 9 vowels. And like, what in the world is going on? But this year, that was it. So congrats to Harini Logan for being the spelling bee champion this year. Thank you, everybody, for being on the show. Dawn, thank you so much for your time. Look forward to seeing that house when it's all fixed up. But most importantly, Dawn, thank you for supporting what we're doing here at Word on the Street and being a partner with you. Absolutely love it. And look forward to having you guys back on the show really, really soon.
You too. Thanks, Trey. Thanks,
everybody. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great week. Make sure you come back next week. We got a killer show next week as well. We got Grace Sharkey from Freightwaves going to be on the show from the Road Dog Trucking. So her personality is just big. I got to go to a Ludacris concert with her. Gracie, if you're watching, getting on the show next week. Can't wait to have Grace on the show. So come back next week, noon Central, for Word on the Street, powered by Beta Consulting Group, sponsored by TAFS and our friends at Greenscreens.ai. Everybody have a great week. We'll talk to you guys soon. We'll see you.
Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.